Hi everybody. I have terrible pain in my muscles after yesterday's weapon training. So the best I can do at the moment is to read to you from the Principles of Aikido by Mitsugi Saotome. We have reached chapter 3. Title of the chapter is Musubi. Aikido is the study of wisdom. If you cannot control and trust yourself, if you cannot see yourself clearly, you will never have any knowledge or trust of others, and you certainly will not be able to control them. The purpose of Aikido training is not to create aggressive fighters, but to refine wisdom and self-control. As a student of Aikido, you must study to improve and polish yourself, not to compete with others. The key to this process and the heart of Aikido is Musubi. This word translates loosely into English as unity, a harmonious interaction. In practice, Musubi means the ability to blend, both physically and mentally, with the movement and energy of your partner. Musubi is the study of good communication. In any interaction between people, communication exists, whether acknowledged or not. It is up to the participants in the interaction to determine whether the communication will be productive or useless, friendly or hostile, true or inaccurate. Musubi, as it is refined, can mean the ability to control and alter interaction, changing a hostile approach to a healthy encounter or an attack into a handshake. Musubi is both a method of learning and a goal of study. Musubi, in its ultimate refinement, relates to the achievement of a sense of universal harmony and, in technique, the ability to control encounters for the good. But can such ability be achieved by forcing, coercing, or frightening a person into learning it? No. Musubi must be taught and studied according to the principles it exemplifies, so that Aikido students' consciousness may be refined along with the physical movement. Musubi must be taught through good interaction and firm but kindly guidance. Learning to respond to attackers with Musubi is a long and difficult process. One cannot strike a beginner and tell him, "Don't fight, blend." The beginner will not blend, but will react with fear and aggression, the instinctive reactions of threat. The beginner will attempt to defend him or herself by struggling or by hurting the attacker. In Aikido, the goal is to tame and control these animal instincts, not stimulate them. This is why, especially for beginners, we often use various kinds of grabs as attacks. The beginning student is not equipped to deal with real attacks, like strikes or kicks, with either mental calm or proper physical movement. Grasps allow the beginner to study techniques without fear, for physical safeties interfering with learning the correct responses. Instead of engaging in struggle and competition, the student polishes both movement and mind. The student studies control of him or herself, of the partner, and of the relationship between them. Grabs have the advantage of providing a physical contact between practice partners, so that both may be able to feel what makes a movement work. Start with static grabs. These allow the study of correct posture, footwork and body position. Students may then progress to moving grabs, which allow the development of a sense of timing and distance, and the exploration of the spatial relationships between them and their partners. Students can begin learning to adjust to various degrees and kinds of force, speed and direction. They can start to build confidence at their ability to communicate with their partners, to build up their intuitive sense of their partner's movements and intents. Cooperation is very important in Aikido training. Almost all practice is done with a partner, and the relationship between partners must be a manifestation of Musubi. Both Nage and Uke bear this responsibility, while Nage must train to blend with, rather than struggle against, attacks. Uke must learn to attack in a way that is appropriate to the technique being studied, and to provide the proper conditions for learning. In a simple example, if the teacher has demonstrated a technique involving a forward throw, it is appropriate for Uke to push forward. If instead Uke pulls backward, attempting to throw Nage's technique, this will only reduce practice to struggle, and neither student will learn how the technique works. Advanced students can benefit from unexpected attacks, free practice, and attempts at reversals, but this is after years of studying basic techniques and learning what conditions require what actions. The study of Aikido is a study of wisdom, and wisdom, in large part, is the possession of common sense. Common sense, unfortunately, is much rarer than its name would imply. In this world, it is lost or never learned. Training in Musubi and the basic principles of Aikido involves learning common sense. We find evidence of this in the basic defensive movements of Irimi and Tenkan. Those two movements can also be spoken of as one movement, Irimi Tenkan, as yin and yang are parts of a whole. Both Irimi and Tenkan are movements that people use in everyday life without thinking. Imagine that you're walking down a crowded city street with the general flow of pedestrian traffic, and you see someone coming directly towards you, walking in the opposite direction. Would you rapidly back into the people walking behind you to get out of the way? No. You would continue to walk towards him, and perhaps turn sideways as he reaches you to let him pass by. This is an example of Irimi. Now imagine that the same person pushes into you while passing by. Would you grab him and cling to keep your balance? No. You might spin around to keep your balance and keep walking. This is Tenkan. Both movements are simple, natural examples of common sense. Anybody can do them, and their very simplicity and universality confirms their truth. But a person, untrained in Aikido, who sees someone coming towards him or her with an attack, automatically does what the same person knows to be foolish on the crowded street, tries to walk backward. When a push is a hostile gesture, the person either freezes or grabs onto the assail for balance. The person loses common sense and the ability to perceive the natural reaction. On the crowded street, the person shows an understanding of Musubi. Faced with threat, the mind regresses towards fear and aggression, and the body loses its ability to react with agility and efficiency. Aikido training, through its gradual and cooperative process, teaches you how to apply the principles of Musubi to increasingly difficult situations. It trains your mind to retain its calm and your vision to retain its clarity, so that fear, anger, or lack of confidence do not distort your body movement. It trains your body so that it is supple and responsive. Constant practice supplies the body with the wisdom of experience. In this way, the body becomes the reflection and the physical manifestation of your mind. Body and mind working together, again in the relationship of Musubi, allows you to react simply and efficiently and sensibly under pressure, rather than letting yourself be dominated and controlled by circumstances. One sees advanced students in Aikido striking at and throwing each other very hard, but they have been brought to this point in their training by careful stages that educate the mind along with the body. Thus the hard attacks become a challenge rather than an assault. The purpose of striking and kicking in practice becomes not an attempt to destroy an enemy, but a means of discovering your own and your partner's strength, balance, intuition, and mental stability. Instead of facing each other with distrust, fear, and competitiveness, you meet your practice partners with concentration, sincerity, and a sense of enjoyment. Please recall the example that I gave of how Irimi and Tenkan operate automatically as part of your reaction to situations in your everyday life. Another important feature of Musubi is operating in your encounter on that crowded street. As you meet the pedestrian who is walking towards you, your reaction reflect and respond to the persons rather than conflict with them. The conjunction of you and the other pedestrian represents a continuous and smooth flow of energy, a give and take of force and direction. This is another and perhaps the most important element of Musubi, namely learning to feel and use the unity of energy. This is why Kokyu Tanden Ho, as O-sensei said, is the most fundamental training in Musubi. Kokyu Tanden Ho is not a fighting technique at all, but a study in physical relationship and movement. In this exercise, two partners sit opposite each other in seiza with uke grabbing nage. Nage, using the whole body as a coordinated unit, attempts to unbalance uke. The purpose of Kokyu Tanden Ho is to discover the principle of circular energy. As uke firmly grasps Nage's wrist and provides resistance, Nage receives the energy that uke gives him and returns it through uke's center of balance. All parts of Nage must act in unity. Nage must meet uke's grab extended, with his arms acting like a spring, so that he can recoil and again extend. He must breathe in as uke grabs and breathe out as he returns uke's force. His mind must remain flexible and receptive. Kokyu Tanden Ho is a non-competitive exercise, not a contest of strength. Uke provides enough resistance to challenge Nage, but not so much as to make uke's execution of the technique impossible. Nage does not struggle to throw uke, but uses this training to study balance, breathing, and unity of physical and mental energy. However, as your training advances, you will find that your partner's physical strength can work to your advantage. Because Kokyu Tanden Ho works on the principle of Musubi, on absorbing and returning energy, the effect is that uke and Nage combine energies. Nage has the use of both his own and uke's strength. The more uke resists to use and uses his strength, the greater the tool that Nage has at his disposal. This circularity of energy is the essence of Musubi. Thank you for listening to this small excerpt from this great book. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will stay tuned to listen for some more. Thank you, bye!